Hello, 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 members of the culture. Welcome in. I am Ra, and you are here. Welcome to the greatest podcast that no one knows about yet. Catch the page. We're on episode 8. Can you believe it? 8 episodes in. Who would have known that a project started by a bald guy on the internet for mental health awareness purposes to help on a journey would have gotten us to this point, this time, in this place? Not I. Certainly, I'm excited about that and glad to know that the message is spreading. How's everybody doing out there today? Everybody doing good? Hopefully so. It is good to see everybody. And we just getting a couple things together here. We are going to get right to the get to, folks. Y'all know me. I want to get right in. I don't want to keep you too much. Sometimes we do because when we get in this culture, we can talk about a lot of things, and that can equal being a lot of time. So I want to be respectful of everyone's time this evening. So although I love, this gold mic and talking to you all into it, at the end of the day, we all have things we got to do, right? So we're going to get right to business. And after we handle this business, we'll get on with the rest of our lives, right? So without further ado, as I always say, sorry, I had to get a little bit of that water. In case you're wondering, because y'all know I do this all the time. So Zarka Spring Water, they're not sponsoring me. They're not paying for anything, but I am open and available. Now, without further ado, to business. All right, I know y'all are ready and excited for what we're going to be talking about today, and so I'm shoving in here. I definitely want to get right to that. First thing, as I always do, I would like to shout out all of my folks. And by all of my folks, I am referring to you guys, the subscribers, all of y'all. There are a bunch of you guys out there that make us what we are. I think I got to check the count again, so forgive me. 40 something. 40 something of you guys out there. And without that 40 something, we are nothing. We hope that number continues to grow. But thank you to the 40 subscribers we have right now. We are grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you to everyone that has followed us on TikTok. Thank you to everyone that has followed us on Instagram and X and now even Snapchat. I didn't even think Snapchat was still a thing. I'll be completely honest with you. I thought Snapchat was kind of a dead thing. I mean, it may be. It depends. But excuse me. Once you join it, you'd be shocked at how many people like it. Obviously, I hate notifications. I don't know if you guys do, but I can't stand it when you join an app and the next thing you know, you got a million different people that's suggesting, like, hey, this person's in your contacts. They're on Snapchat. They're on Snapchat. They just posted a video. Hey, this person is breathing correctly. I'm like, oh my God, enough. But nonetheless, I'm not here to rant on that. But we are on Snapchat too, just in case you're wondering. So you can find us almost, seems like almost anywhere, man. We're everywhere. At the convenience store, anywhere you look. We're like a Walgreens. We're on every single corner. But yeah, folks, thank you to all of the subscribers. Without you guys, we are nothing. This channel does not exist. Nothing we do is possible without the gifts from the fans, without the time from the fans, without y'all, period. You guys make this channel go in ways that are so hard to describe. And we're grateful. I mean, it sounds cliche to say. I know it does, but I promise you that it's not. It's not cliche. Tell them 110% truth. Appreciate you all more than you all realize. So, shout out to all of my, I don't know if you would call them fellow channels. I don't know what I might call them. But all of my, I'll call them fellow channels. All my fellow channels out there. Big shout out to My main man, Clever's Multiverse, always want to give him his props for what he does. Big shout out to Bones and the Necro Zoo. Big shout out to D Hunter's Reviews, 5 Points of Articulation, and my main man, Anthony, over at Anthony's Customs. Definitely big shout out to all of those channels. As I always tell you, if you haven't checked them out, do yourself that favor, folks, and please check them out. They are awesome channels. You can always get some good reviews and trusted information from those sources. To my Instagram people as well, shout out to Minding Mind Bricks. Anybody that's out there in the Lego community, because I realize I have followers from all over the world that are Lego fans too. I have not participated yet, but I will at some point. I will build a Lego. Those of you know that have been following the channel know that I'm kind of in the midst of doing that. A little apprehensive, but I'm still gonna do it. So we'll see how that works out. You know, with a Lego build, I'll let you know. But shout out to Mindy Mind Brick. Shout out to Queen G22. Those of you that are culture fans, if you don't know who Queen G22 is, do yourself a favor. After you listen to this podcast, go look her up on YouTube, Instagram. One of the coolest people that you probably don't know about. Has an awesome channel. She built the She Shed. She's been featured in a couple of different magazines and websites. She is, trust me, she's awesome. Nothing against any other gamer girl, but if you were to tell me, like, say, hey, tell me what your definition of a gamer girl is, I would tell you it would be Queen G 22. That would be the first place I went. She's awesome. So do yourself a favor, check out her channel. And now that I've done my shout outs, and shout out to the non-sponsors of this video. And the reason I say non is because, as you know, I'm trying to get them to sponsor and put their money in here since I'm available right now. Free agency period in the NBA. A lot of those guys are free agents are getting signed. I'm a free agent, so I'm out here looking to get signed by one of these sponsors. So Rise Coffee, who I wholeheartedly endorse. I drink a cup every day, 2 cups actually. Fantastic benefits. For those of you on the fence about it, try yourself some Rise Mushroom Coffee. You will not regret the decision. It's very good stuff. Also, shout out to True Sea Moss, Advanced True Sea Moss. Also, two tablespoons of that a day will get you where you need to go. It's fantastic. I apologize for if this feedback is coming through. I think I got a short in this cord. Drive me crazy. I'll have to try and get another pair here in a minute. Anyway, so now that all the shout outs are done, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to the get to. Okay. And the first topic that I would like to discuss with you all, as I look at another person here sending a message about something, we're going to talk about the re-release of the X-Men 97 figures. I thought that was, if you guys remember, and it's going to be a sore spot for some people because I know how people feel about Target exclusives. Don't get me started. I understand. But there was a re-release recently, not quite a month ago. Target re-released, I think it was the 22nd of June. They re-released the Rogue, X-Men 97 Rogue and X-Men 97 Wolverine were both re-released as Target exclusives. It sold out again, just like it did the first time in minutes. But nonetheless, they did get re-released, and I hope if you're listening out there, if you're one of the lucky people that got to get your hands on one, congratulations to you. Really cool figures. 110%. They should be in your collection. I do like the X-Men 97 collection. Magneto was right. I'm required to tell you that because he was. But they're cool figures. I think Rogue is the one that's getting all the hype. Simply because, one of the reasons, you can always count on Wolverine selling because who's not going to buy a Wolverine figure, right? But nonetheless, the Wolverine figure is a good one. I don't know what number he would be if you think about last year when that thing launched, and we had him and Astonishing Wolverine, and I can't think of how many more Marvel Legends, Bone Claws, and there were just so many. There's always a ton of Wolverines. That if they drop the atomic bomb, one thing we'll always have is Marvel Legend figures when it comes to Wolverines and Captain America. You can't have enough, right? But nonetheless, so that figure launched along with the rest of that line. I do have Bishop. I think Gambit's getting ready to come get re-released soon. It's amazing. I don't think they put out enough when they first did that line, so not everybody got them. Just a few select people, and okay, I'm required to say it, scalpers did do it and drive the market value up. So there's that. But anyone that wasn't lucky enough to get yourself one of those figures, go on out now. You should be Rogue. I'm not 100% sure. She may still be difficult to get, so I don't want to put that out there. So hey, you can grab a Rogue. Rogue, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, is still a little bit kind of hit or miss. Wolverine, I'm not gonna say he's hit peg warmer status, but you should be able to get him. I've seen him in a couple of places. Now, I think that ties into something that we're going to talk about, which is the Gamerverse line is definitely, I'm not going to say still a thing, but the Gamerverse line is definitely a thing. I don't think it's going anywhere since it's branched out. And now we've got SH Figure Arts doing them. And who knows who else will jump on that bandwagon, right? I think it won't stop with SH Figure Arts. Just in case you're wondering, I think somebody else is going to make another Cyclops in the thong. As long as he's over 6 inches tall, I guess nobody will say anything. It'll just be 6 inches with a thong. All jokes aside, folks, those figures are out there, so please make sure you grab them if they're available. I'm glad they re-released them. I think they're, as from what I can tell, they're re-releasing all of them. They're doing it in waves, which is weird. I don't know why they're doing it like this. I guess they're doing two at a time, so we'll work our way through. We'll see another Bishop, Magneto, a Gambit, all of those. But definitely, they're good figures. If they're not, if you don't have them in your collection, go ahead and pick them up. Right, 110%. I advise you all to do that. Next up, I'd like to chat about. Well, first, if I'm about to chat about this next topic, I guess I can say it the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, it is almost time to look up. Why? Because on July 11th, the Man of Steel, no pun intended, Superman, James Gunn's vision of Superman, comes to life and hits theaters on July 11th. I am looking forward to it. I'm sure countless others are looking forward to seeing it. Seeing this movie, I only heard one group. If I did on the last podcast, if my memory's right, I had one last group that said, "Hey, I mean, there was a group that saw it and it had good reviews to it. So for those of you who are lucky enough to see it, thank you for not spoiling it and then letting us know that it's a good film. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm always down for a good action flick. So I'm still pumped about seeing it, and props to James Gunn for stepping out there, even though I said Henry Cavill is my Superman. That's a hill I'll die on. Um, Props to him for bringing his vision to life. I think he knows what he's doing. So we shall see. And since this, and remember, this is the linchpin of whatever his version of the Justice League is going to be. It lies in it's actually bordered by, like, this is the main cog of the wheel. Your Justice League is going to be built off of Batman and Superman. So although said Robert Pattinson is Matt Reeves' Batman and is not per se James Gunn's version of Batman, we still have yet to see that. But these are going to be his centerpieces. So therefore, I would think if it's anything like anything else, depending on how well Superman does, depending on how well Superman does, will determine how quick we'll hear of a Justice League, if at all, right? Because he's got to introduce these individual characters first, and then based on their success, I guess that lets us know whether we'll see his vision of what the Justice League will look like, right? Or Justice Society, or whatever way in which he plans to go. And then we'll look up, and I guess we'll actually look up and leave the planet 2 weeks later on the 25th, because we all know my personal favorite, Fantastic Four First Steps, featuring the greatest character in history, the one and only Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, will hit theaters on July 25th, and I could not be more excited for a film. I'm very pumped up to see it. And Pedro Pascal right now, who's that man's? He's living better than Josh Brolin back in Infinity War time, because at that time, who was living better than Josh Brolin, right? The man was Thanos and he was Cable. So he was living really good. But Pedro Pascal is everywhere right now. That man's been in The Mandalorian, The Last of Us. Now he's in this. I mean, he's already a bankable movie star, but now he's everywhere. I mean, You almost think that that man is trying to face a child support bill. He's doing every project under the sun right now. I say, hey, we need to do a movie about Julia Child's butler. Let's get Pedro Pascal, right? So I am looking forward to Fantastic Four. Early screenings, I heard some people say it's good. There's been a little bit mixed. Everybody raves about Galactus, so that's a good thing for me. I'm so looking forward to seeing this movie. You guys have that know me know. Outside, I can't show you where he is, but one day, maybe one day we'll move the Galactus, right? We'll move him down. He's up there on a shelf, so you guys can't see it. But one day, other than these Funko Pops behind me, but I will, I promise, one day I will do a pod with Galactus here on the table behind me because you guys like that. I'm sure you would. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea, right? We just what else we have going on? We just saw Ironheart conclude. Now, from what I understand, Ironheart's supposed to be just one season, which is shocking because we're talking about Marvel here, and Marvel likes to make money. And if they get a property that does okay, they typically like to keep their hand on the faucet and keep it on. As long as it keeps making money, they just keep turning it. So uh, I think at first there was some hate, but I think people have started, from what I can see, have started to soften a little bit to Ironheart. I like Riri Williams' story so far, the arc she's been on. Um, this particular thing with Ironheart, it's pretty good. This particular Ironheart, I like this series. I'd have to say I don't see the hate. I might with anything else, you could pick it apart on some narrative choices, but for the most part, pretty good. The guy that played the Hood, Parker Robbins, pretty good. I mean, that story is it's I don't know how to describe it. I know this thing's been sitting and cooking for a couple of years. A lot of people say 2 or 3 years before they decided to release it finally. But hey, I think it's been good. It flew under the radar. I'm glad they did not overly hype it. I started to see something about it. You know, started seeing ads on Disney Plus and stuff about it about a month before it dropped. So they didn't just at least not me. I don't know if anybody else got spammed 1,000 times about it, but I didn't. So I had, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I mean it respectfully. I have no idea why Lou is barking, but I went into it. I went into this movie. I mean, movie. I went into this series with low expectations, and I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I don't mean that to be disrespectful to the cast of Ironheart or the series itself, but I certainly had a low expectations because of how Marvel had been trending. Like the movies had been good, but if you remember my last podcast, I talked about how where I thought we were with Marvel, you know, with like too much of a good thing. Go back and check episode 7 of Catch the Fade if you didn't see it. Very good episode. Um, I touched on too much of a good thing, and in some of the videos on the channel I may have done it too. But Marvel, you know, had kind of hit this I don't want to say stagnant point, but that sounds about the best way I could describe it. You know, you have Blade in development hell, and from all reports we have right now, that time has kind of passed, and Blade looks like it's moving again. You know, it might be moving slowly, but it's moving. It's out of it's you know, it had come to kind of an abrupt stop where we didn't know if this thing was even still going to get made. But now it looks like Blade is a thing again, and there's some momentum. So I'll take that because I Blade's one of my favorite characters. So I really am looking forward to them giving us the Blade movie that we deserve and honoring the great predecessor that was the original Blade Trinity by my main man, Wesley Snipes. Blade is a character that deserves to be treated with honor and respect. His films deserve nothing less than the best that Marvel is able to provide. And that's the same thing for us fans. We deserve that too. We've waited a long time, and I'm really pumped. If you know if they're going to take time to get it right, as I said with it, I feel the same way about Blade that I would feel about Fantastic Four or Superman or any of the like. I think I really was talking about Matt Reeves' vision of the Batman 2, and I said, hey, James Gunn made that post about get off Matt's nuts, and I'm like, I side with him on that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these people a chance. I know it takes a while, right? But greatness is not quick. It isn't. It takes a minute. You know, you got a whole lot of moving parts to produce something that's special. So you got to give these producers and directors and writers time to meld. Let this thing cook, man. We always say let them cook. Let this thing cook and let's judge the end product. Like we're so microwave sometimes as a society that we want everything right then, right now. Oh, we're gonna make a movie. Okay, let's get this movie out. Okay, if I announce let's say I announce today, July 3rd. Okay, I want to do a movie. You guys would expect for this movie to be written, shot, directed, produced, and everything in 6 months, right? And then ready in the theaters. And that's so not how it works. That's so not how it works. It's a whole melting pot of people with different ideas and they have different roles and titles and jobs that they have to do before you get a cohesive finished product. Because if you don't, I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm honest. You could do it the right way. Take your time, and things can still suck. I get that. But by and large, most things, if they take the proper time and everybody cohesively works together, brings their ideas to the table, they reach a happy medium, and they take their time and write a cohesive story, develop. If everybody takes their time and lets it cook, usually, more often than not, we get a good product. So I'm of the mindset, look, let's give it time, let's let this stuff cook. And then when it's done, if it's had the time, then we can judge it. We can say, hey, we waited all this time for this. I'm good with it. But the problem is that first part of that sentence, we waited all this time, that usually never happens. And that's the problem, is that we never we don't get to that point. We're so quick just to judge. We want everything so fast, and then we're like, man, that sucks. Microwave food sucks. I like my stuff in an air fryer. Okay, but you get the point. Microwaving is not the best. It's really only good for, man. I mean, you can make popcorn better than that. But to me, it's really only good for putting popcorn in there and boiling water. There's nothing else, no other purpose for it. So I think we've got to get away from that mentality of the microwave society where it's quick, fast, right here, right now, TV dinner, pop it out. We got to get past that, because sometimes you get lucky and you do get something that's good, but a lot of times we've gotten things that are not so good, right? So I think we need to slow down, give people time, and let's let these companies, development houses, work their magic and give us something worthy of our patronage. Okay, let them cook, and then we'll eat. That's what I'm saying. Let them cook. Let's do that. I keep sounding like a broken record. That's because I don't want another failure. I don't want another flop. I mean, I personally, I don't want to see any of these things fail or flop. Not just because I go to see it and I'm a consumer of it, but I just as a whole don't want to see anybody fail. As a whole, I'm a positive person. This is a positive channel. I don't want to see anybody fail. I'm not a I told you so. I told you so. That's not me. I know that there are people out there like that. More power to them if that's their thing. We're about positivity here on this channel. We want people to succeed and do well in all walks of life, right? So that's not us. I want these films to do well, and in the case of Ironheart, I liked it. Now it's not slated for a season two. I might have to Google it and see if maybe depending on what kind of feedback Marvel gets, they may change that, or if they, because they left it on a cliffhanger. If you watched it, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hadn't seen it. But if you haven't watched Ironheart, go watch it now. I can tell you next week on the podcast, which will be episode 9, we probably will spoil Ironheart for you if you haven't seen it. Since I know it's just the first, this past weekend was when they finished the final 3 of the 6 episodes. So I won't spoil it right now. The channel can, so you can go ahead and do it. But here we won't do it. We'll wait till next week. But next week we will definitely spoil it. So here's your warning: go watch Ironheart, and next week we'll go into detail and spoil it if that's the case for you. But know that it does leave on a cliffhanger, and I'm kind of wondering how that cliffhanger will be resolved. Like, are we going to roll that into the next film? Will that tie into Secret Wars? Will it tie into a show that's coming? Speaking of which, Eyes on Wakanda looks good. Ryan Coogler, let that man cook. That's my man right there. Let him cook, because I promise you, when he cooks, the meal's always good. Always invited to the cookout. But I want us to kind of see. I do kind of. I'm saying us as fans. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I want us to be able to find out where this cliffhanger on Ironheart is going to go. Does it mean anything? Does it not mean anything? I don't know. It's got to mean something. So I'm gonna get off of it because it's gonna make me want to spoil it, and I just told you I wouldn't. So therefore, I won't. But go watch Ironheart. Good series, right? And shout out for, like I said, look out for Eyes of Wakanda. I'm certainly 100% looking forward to seeing that, right? Big time. Next up, folks, let's talk about this Gamerverse thing, right? I hinted at it earlier when I talked about Cyclops in the thong from SH Figure Arts. That actually looks like a good figure, but as we all know, SH Figure Arts, they need a ladder to make 6 inches on the figures. They're always shorter. I'm not hating on them. I like SH Figure Arts, very good company to make good figures, but they tend to be smaller on scale, and that's a thing now. And a lot of these, I don't know if any of my listeners out there, male, female, whatever that I have, thank you again for listening to it again if you're just joining us. Um, all of those figures that SH Figure Arts makes are usually, they have to stretch to get to 6 inches. A lot of them are under 6 inches. That's just how, I think that's just kind of how they do it. That's the scale they like. I don't know if my listeners out there are, you like your bigger figures. I like 7 inch figures. That's just me. I'm not just a DC multiverse guy, McFarlane guy. I'm not. As you guys know, I support a bunch of different lines. But as a whole, I like 7 inch figures. That's just me. So I understand I'm ruining the 112 scale by saying that, but not everything in the 112 scale is 6 inches. Sometimes these things end up being, in the case of SH Figure Arts, they're 5.84, 5.7, whatever it is, or sometimes a little bigger, like 7 inches in the case of DC Multiverse. But that's my point. I like the 7 inches. Marvel Legends typically sits around 6 and just maybe a little bit over 6 1/4 sometimes on their size. And with Todd losing the license, I did not want to bring that up. So Todd McFarlane, if you're listening, I do apologize. I didn't want to bring it up. Yeah, I know that in about a year, you will be turning the license over to Mattel. We'll see what Mattel does with it. But nonetheless, Todd McFarlane had me spoiled on these 7 inch figures. I'm comfortable with 6 and 7 because they can scale together if you know what you're doing, right? You guys know I built an X-Men display that has Marvel Select figures as well as Marvel Legends and a couple of others, and they're all between 6 and obviously Juggernaut's like gigantic. The Marvel Select Juggernaut's still my favorite Juggernaut. I understand articulation, that's just a thing with Marvel Select, but still my favorite Juggernaut, hands down. Even though I plan on checking out the new one. But I built that display with a bunch of different figures up there that are of varying sizes because Marvel Selects are taller. So there's a Colossus and Magneto and all of those guys. But nonetheless, I digress. Back to the point. SH Figure Arts makes good figures, but they tend to be on the shorter side and they tend to be pricey. Well, this Cyclops is no different. And as I talked about in the last episode of the podcast, we don't really know where we're going to go with this. I mean, I don't know. If this is going to incite some kind of a, I'm not going to say bidding war, but is this going to start something? Is Gamerverse, because when Gamerverse first dropped, when I first heard about Gamerverse, it was about, you guys know who I'm going to go to. It was my man Venom here and the Marvel Legends series right here, Venom from the Gamerverse, right? First time I encountered it. But and that fantastic game, both 1 and 2 Spider-Man. You guys got to play that. If you haven't played that, do yourself a favor, get yourself a PlayStation 4 or 5, preferably, and get out there and play some Spider-Man. Amazing game. It was a game of the year, Spider-Man 2 game of the year. Absolutely deserved it. Fantastic game. Get familiar with those characters, and that's where they rip these guys directly from the game. So lifelike in their sculpts, which they brought. They look great. Nonetheless, uh, Gamerverse looks to be a thing that I guess, like I said in the last podcast, anybody can join. I thought it might have just been a Hasbro thing, but that just, goes to show that it's not. Gamerverse is not exclusive to just Hasbro, although we tend to kind of think of them as the face of it because they just put out those figures. And shout out to Clever's Multiverse again. He talked about it where they're putting out a bunch of re-releases, and yeah, look at them making money hand over fist. We can't stop them, Clever. We can't seem to stop them, right? Hasbro says we know y'all gonna buy these figures no matter what we say. Y'all gonna buy these figures, and that's what we're doing. We're an economy, and that's what we do. Free market. We just out here. We just getting it. So, and some of them, shout out, as I said, that Wolverine. One of the reasons that I think people may be hesitant, even though they should not be, you should get the X-Men 97 Wolverine. But one of the reasons people are so hesitant to grab that Wolverine is because they know, hey, the ultimate, and I don't know, I mean, obviously they're calling it the Gamerverse Wolverine, but to a lot of people, shout out to my main man, Fisk, if he's watching. He and I had a conversation where we talked about Wolverine and saying that the reason he might possibly peg one, that's so, I don't even know if that sounds ethical to say. A Wolverine that peg worms, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't seem like it's not even possible for a Wolverine to peg one. But in any case, if he does, I just think he's accessible. I won't say he's peg warming because when we talk about peg warming, I immediately go to Professor X. No disrespect, love me some Professor X, but you all know that Savage Land's Professor X is out there in the green jumpsuit. We know that that thing is peg woman. I mean, that thing is. I mean, that thing has Ollie's written all over it. And I'm not saying that's a bad figure, but I think they put out so many of those and I guess it's an okay figure. You got to go look at it for a review of it for yourself from one of these channels that reviewed it. It doesn't seem to be bad, but I think they put out some. I don't want to say they flood the market, but they put so many out there. It's crazy, right? You couldn't find enough Rogues and Wolverines for people, and when they initially launched, even now, still not enough because, like I said, they sold out again, particularly Rogue. But you can give us enough Professor X's to shake several sticks at. I don't know. Some of these decisions make me scratch this bald head where I just wonder, when they terms of inventory, how many should we put out? I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know who's making those decisions, whether it's somebody that's supposed to be educated and understand business, or if they just getting a monkey that's sitting there just pointing at something and saying, I don't get it. It blows my mind. But I won't get on a rant about that. I won't get on a soapbox about distribution inventory. But nonetheless, Fisk and I were saying that the only reason that this figure may peg warm possibly is because the Wolverine. If you saw the fan cast about the Silver Samurai Wolverine 2-pack, he looks really really cool. Like he gets low to the ground. Like one of the things in that game that he could do if you played Marvel Capcom or the old X-Men versus series, played those, especially Marvel Capcom. Man, he was like this. He gets so low to the ground. It was hard to hit Wolverine. He'd get underneath stuff. Very annoying. Great character to play, but I mean, but so hard to hit sometimes, man. Very agile, but his stance, because Wolverine is 5'3". Nothing against Hugh Jackman, but we all know that comic accurate Wolverine is like real tiny. So in the game, when he'd be standing there, now I guess maybe hey, SH figure out what are y'all gonna do? If y'all make Wolverine, I don't know what you're gonna do. If Cyclops is only 5 like 5.5 inches tall, I guess Wolverine's gonna be 3.75 because he is short. But nonetheless, this Wolverine from Gamerverse looks to be so cool, like very accurate. They put him in the poses, so this might be the definitive Wolverine for a lot of people, and I guess that's why, like Fisk was saying, that this X-Men 97, if he starts to peg warm in places, that may be why people are holding up, and I don't blame them. The economy's tough, and y'all put out a million figures. We got to make choices, tough choices sometimes. So X-Men 97 Wolverine's worth it, but if you're only going to get one Wolverine this year, might I say that he might be the Wolverine to go with? He probably is, and we haven't seen a Silver Samurai figure in forever, so that made that 2-pack a no-brainer for most people, right? So that Wolverine is definitely what a lot of people are looking forward to, getting them in those poses and getting those backgrounds. I don't know where they're getting them from, but nowadays you can make them or get them anywhere. But that I would love to pose them in that background from Marvel Capcom 2. They had like that kind of danger room setting with the net in the background. But you guys know if you played the game or if you saw the fan cast, you know what I'm talking about. Those gaming backgrounds are going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see the setups and poses that people are going to be doing. It's going to be crazy. TikTok's going to blow up. Instagram, everything. Social media is going to go wild with those. So everybody, shout out to everybody that's ordered any of those Gamerverse figures. Please make sure that you post those to our social media. We'll make sure we'll put it out there for the world to see. Definitely want to see all of your pictures. So don't hesitate to go to the Great Raphael on Instagram and show those pictures off, or here on the channel. Let us know. We'll definitely promote it because we're all about the culture and we're all about awesome figures, baby. Right? So as I said, that I think that figure is going to really be good, but it brings it into question and say, are we about to witness some kind of a war almost where everybody's doing Gamerverse figures? What started out to be small, SH Figure Arts, that's no small company, man. That was a big thing. So I think that opens the floodgates, and we may see someone else, Mezco. Who knows? Who knows what figures we'll get, which is good for us as the consumer, right? We're going to see a lot of cool figures, and good quality figures is the best thing that could happen to us. So if you're a consumer, hey, that's what you want. It's choices. Choice ain't a bad thing to have, folks. It's only when we don't have choices and we have a monopoly, when companies then who, I know they got to make money, but when it's just them, that's when they tended to me, they take more shortcuts, they get lazy, they get less creative, and then they just get it out there because they know they have no competition. And whatever we put out, we're supposed to speak with our wallets, but most times we don't. They know that, so they say, "Hey, take what we put out here, because who else is gonna make something?" But now that SH Figure Arts has stepped up to the plate and given us the Thong Cyclops and opened the floodgates, who knows where we're gonna go next with that? Good looking figures, but we'll see. I just don't like the scale of them. But other than that, I don't have a gripe about it. But there's the new Kingpin black suit Gamerverse. That thing looks cool. Kingpin, shout out Fist again. Kingpin, that figure looks really, really cool. I've seen it side by side in pictures with the Marvel Legends Kingpin in the white suit. That's my Kingpin. When I close my eyes and visualize Kingpin, that's the one I see. Although I do know the Gamerverse one, he was in Spider-Man in that series. So again, play the game, check it out. I look forward to that. Gamerverse is apparently not going anywhere, and things are just getting started. Because if this second half of the year is going to be woo crazy, right? You're gonna have a hard time holding on to your wallet. You're gonna be making some decisions, gonna have you sweating like you were in the Mojave Desert. it is it is no joke. Now, speaking of figures, folks, that let me go ahead and cap this off with this. We are now. I wanted to wait until it hit July, so we're now in July. July 3rd is the time of this podcast. We're comfortably halfway through the year where I can say I can ask the question. I think I asked it last time on the podcast, but now I can seriously ask it. What's your figure of the year so far? And when we're done here, if you follow us on social media, you will see posts about on our Instagram, our Facebook, which is the Great Raw Forever. You'll see us on TikTok. You'll see us here in our YouTube channel. Everywhere, we're going to be posting about this, doing polls. We want to know what your figure of the year in 2025 is thus far. Now we know that this is probably going to change, obviously, because we're only talking about the first half of the year. So in the first half of the year, and any figure qualifies, folks. I don't care if it's Mezco, I don't care if it's Mayfex, I don't care if it's InArt, I don't care if it's what's that company I was talking about? The Beast Kingdom, Go Pop, or but people out there, you know what I'm talking about. I don't care if it's import, I don't care if it's here, whatever it is. What is your figure of the year? Okay, so it can be McFarlane, Marvel Legends, whatever. What is your figure of the year? If I had to, you can include the wonderful work that Jada Toys is doing. Shout out to them. Storm Collectibles. Now that's a war between them for Street Fighter, and that's a war we all win. Looking forward to that. Shout out to Storm Collectibles. But if I had to pick one figure for this year, the beginning from January 1st until now, ladies and gentlemen, you already know who it is. Our number one figure for 2025. The first half of it, it would have to be none other than I'm Just Playing. I'm Just Playing. Don't get upset, Hulk fans. Y'all know we love Maximum Hulk, right? It's not him. Our figure of the year so far, as of this moment, until otherwise told in defeat and taken down, is none other than We Are Venom. That's right, the Gamerverse Venom. That is still right now I'm not gonna say man to beat. He's the symbiote. That is the symbiote to beat right now. 2025 so far, our reigning figure of the year is definitely the Gamerverse Venom. Now, who knows? By the end of the year, maybe it'll be Gigantos, the Shumagorath. It could be Juggernaut. I doubt it, even though it looks nice. The paint is enough for me to not pick it. Um, who knows? Who knows what it'll be? There's a lot of figures that have not hit that will still be hitting, not just Gamerverse, but everywhere. Could it be Thong Cyclops? We don't know. But I'm telling you right now, if I had to pick one figure of the year right now, at this moment, it is the Gamerverse Venom. Right now, he still leads the pack until the end of the year. So you got 6 more months, pal. These remaining 6 months will determine whether you take home the award or whether it goes to somebody else. I'm sure Hasbro would like it. I'm sure that you and whatever other entities are inside of you, y'all would like it. We certainly would like it, but we will see, because there's a lot of competition that has not arrived yet, folks, but I'm sure it's on the way. I cannot wait. 2025 shaping up to be an exciting year for collectors and fans of these properties. We are going to win. I tell you, folks, we're the winners here. Prices is going to make it difficult, let you make choices, but we're the winners here. Again, latest video we talked about prices. Shout out Clever's Multiverse. Please go check out that video he just dropped about pricing. I keep telling them, man, you better chill out, man. You out here dropping all these truth bombs around here. And Disney might say, man, let's get that dude's channel out there. Just playing Disney. Don't take my channel. Like, I'm a fan. I just told you I like Ironheart. Anyway, folks, thank y'all so much for joining us on the greatest podcast that nobody knows about yet. Please, 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 please continue to share, promote these videos off of our channel. Share them with your loved ones, with your unloved ones, the homeless person that you just met. Let everybody know what we're trying to do over here. Help us with likes, shares, and subscribes as we fight YouTube's algorithm and we try to get more members to the culture. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for being subscribers. Thank you for your time. It's the most precious resource you have, and you chose to spend it with a ball guy on the internet and his dog that can't stop barking. So I appreciate you all so much for everything that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, until we meet again, as I say all the time, please continue to stay collecting, making those choices. Please continue to stay tuned on every social media platform, TikTok, IG, X, everywhere else, link in the description. And above all, please continue to stay great. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. We will see y'all on the next one.